Okay, so this is just going to be a hopefully short video on how we do the solving portion, right? So I'll just go in order. Step one, I notice that I've got a distributive property, so that means to multiply through. 3 times -5 is -15. And then I'm just going to bring everything down. From here, I can do lots of things, but I think a traditional example would be to add those together. This makes a 0, so there's no need to write that. These can kind of cancel out. And then I've got 15 plus 9, which is 24. And again, remember I wrote 15 once to this side and once to this side, so they kind of balance each other out, and then they cancel here, right? Now the other option is to move m's to be together, right? So I'm going to do that by subtracting 7m, so I can take 7m's away from this side, leaving me just 24. And then I can move the -7m's on both sides. Remember again, like here's your equal sign, -7 once to each side. 3 minus 7 is -4. And now I'm going to divide both sides by -4, and m is -6. Okay, so we're going to do the exact same thing here, except this time it's a -3, so watch your signs. There's no distributive property with the 19, so I'm just going to bring that down. Distribute the -3. And again, remember guys, at this point you have lots of options. You can do lots of things. I noticed that the 19 and the -21 are like right next to each other. So all I'm going to do is just do exactly what it says. Imagine without the r's, it would literally say 19 minus 21. So because they're just like right there, right next to each other, I'm just going to do what it tells me to do. I'm not going to change the minus sign to a plus sign randomly, you know? That's only when we need to move things from other sides. So 19 minus 21 is -2r. And then I'm not going to do anything else because I just want to do one thing at a time. Now maybe I'll add 3 to both sides. It doesn't make sense to add 3 here because the 5 has an r with it, right? So I'm going to put the +3 once to each side where it makes sense. These cancel out again because they produce a 0. And now I've got an r on this side and an r on this side, and I want to bring them together. And since I already have a number over here, it makes sense to put, oops, JK, hold on. Where's my, there's my pencil. Okay, it makes sense to put the 5r over here because the 21 is already kind of stuck here. There's no point in moving this one over to be with the r because this one doesn't have r's, and it doesn't make sense to do a +2r because watch what happens if I do that. If I do that, you get 21 plus 7r, and then like these cancel out. So what's left over there? So a lot of kids will move the equal sign over here to be this, but it doesn't make any sense. You can't move the equal sign. That's fixed. So at this point, I'm going to separate the r, or bring the r's together, but by moving the 5r by doing its opposite. That way the 5r's produce a 0, leaving me just a 21. And that's -7r. Divide both sides by -7, and r equals -3. Okay, I like this problem a lot because you don't have to use the equation to get your answer, but I have 8 dogs, or Ms. Kolakowski has 8 dogs. She has 2 more dogs to go. How long before 42? That's our total. So here's what we can do, except that's just not true. So we probably need a letter in there, especially for an equation. They usually have a letter in there. So my option is 8x plus 2 equals 42, or 8 plus 2x equals 42. And we're going to put the x with the thing that's changing, right? How long is a matter of weeks, right? That's what I'm looking for. The 8 will never change. She always starts with 8 dogs. That 8 can't turn into any other number. 2 8s make a 16, 3 8s make a 24, but the 8's not changing. So we're going to put the x with the 2 because that is changing. 2 more dogs, it's 2 this year, 2 next year, and that makes 4. 2 next year, and that makes 6, right? So the 2's, if you keep adding more of them, turn into 2's and 4's and 6's and 8's, right? When we add more and more 2's. So that's why we put the x there. And now you can solve it traditionally right? So that's one option. I really hope this will work. I'm going to graph 8 plus 2x. I hope it's still graphing my screen. I'm going to type in the equation 8 plus 2x. And I'm just going to go to now where we have 42. So hopefully you see that dragging. So let's see where 42 is. Sorry, I can't see. I'm dragging from a different direction. I'm going to drag till the height is 42. 17. So 17 weeks and 42. That's one way to do that. So like you can graph it and find till it heights 42. You can make a chart, right? So weeks and dogs. At 0 weeks, 8 dogs, because we got 8 dogs. Then we've got 10. Then we've got 12. Then we've got 14. And you can keep doing this chart until you get to 42. Now that's not really efficient, but it's going to get you the correct answer. You can guess. You could say, okay, I'm going to guess maybe like 20 weeks. So 20 weeks, she will have, if she's getting 2 weeks, if she's getting 2 dogs per week for 20 weeks, that would be 40 extra dogs, plus she's got the 8. So after 20 weeks, she's got 48. Okay, well, I can work backwards. So if at 20 weeks she has 48 dogs, at 19 she'd have 46, at 18 she'd have 44, and at 17 she'd have 42, right? So lots of options for this. Don't think that just because I ask you for an equation, you have to use one. Although if this method works for you, you totally can do that too. Okay, hope this video helps.